Look down at your own calves for a second. If they look thinner than they used to, if the hair has quietly disappeared from your lower legs, if the skin there looks shiny, tight, almost too smooth, I want you to keep watching, because your body may be showing you something about your blood flow that most men miss for years. And here's the part that gets me. The calves are often where it shows up first, long before anything dramatic happens anywhere else. I'm not a doctor, and this isn't medical advice. It's the kind of thing I wish someone had explained to me in plain English a long time ago. So let me do that for you today. Here's why your calves matter so much. Your lower legs are about as far from your heart as blood has to travel. To get fresh, oxygen-rich blood all the way down there and back up, your circulation has to be working well. Good vessels, good pressure, good flow. When circulation starts to weaken, the body quietly makes a decision. It protects the most important organs first, and the far-flung outposts, your feet, your lower legs, get less. Over months and years, that shows up in the look of the calf. The muscle can shrink a little. The skin loses that healthy tone. The hair thins out because the tiny follicles aren't getting fed. Shiny, hairless, tight-looking skin on the lower leg can be a circulation story written right on your body. Now, I was skeptical about this when I first read it. Honestly, I thought, hair on my legs, who cares? But once I understood the mechanism underneath it, it clicked. And that mechanism is the whole reason this channel exists. So stick with me, because the most important point comes a little later. Let me explain the engine of all of this. Blood flow is mostly a vessel and nitric oxide event. Your blood vessels are lined with a delicate layer called the endothelium. That lining produces a molecule called nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is what tells your vessels to relax and open up so more blood can pour through. Healthy lining, plenty of nitric oxide, vessels open wide, strong flow. That's the system working the way nature intended. Here's what damages it. Chronically elevated blood sugar. And I mean even in the pre-diabetic range. The range a lot of men walk around in for years without ever being told, slowly injures that vessel lining and lowers nitric oxide. When that happens, the vessels can't open the way they should. Flow drops, and it doesn't drop everywhere at the same speed. The small vessels feel it first because they have the least room to spare. The tiny vessels in your lower legs, the tiny vessels that supply firmness and performance below the belt. Those are some of the smallest in the body, which is exactly why circulation down there is often an early warning sign, sometimes showing up years before the heart ever complains. Your calves and your performance are telling the same story, from two different parts of the same plumbing. So let me give you the corroborating signs, because one thinning calf on its own isn't a diagnosis. It's a clue. Look for a cluster, cold feet even in a warm room, toenails that grow slower or look thicker, a small cut on the lower leg that takes forever to heal, numbness or a pins and needles feeling in the feet, less morning strength than you had a few years back, lower stamina walking uphill or up the stairs. Notice I'm describing the same theme over and over, not enough fresh blood reaching the places farthest from the pump. When several of these show up together, your body is waving a flag. All right, let's actually do something right now, together. This is the self-test, and I want you to do it with me, not just watch. Sit down and cross one leg over the other knee, the relaxed way you'd sit on a porch. Now press two fingers gently on the top of your foot, in that soft groove between the big toe and the second toe, and feel for a pulse. Take your time. It can be faint. Then feel behind the inner ankle bone, just below it, for another one. Go ahead, find them on both feet. What you're feeling for isn't a number. It's whether the pulse feels present and similar on both sides, or whether one side feels weak or hard to find. Now run the back of your hand down both calves and compare temperature, and look at them in good light, color, hair, that shiny, tight skin. You're building a simple before picture of your own circulation. If something feels off or one side is clearly different, that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to bring it to your doctor and actually get it checked. That little 2-minute test is worth more than any worry, because now you have information. So here's the hopeful part. The reason I didn't make this video just to scare you. The endothelium, that vessel lining, is not set in stone. it responds. It's one of the most responsive tissues in the whole body, and that means the trend you saw in your calves can often be nudged back in the right direction with consistent, unglamorous habits. Let me walk you through what actually supports this. First and biggest, blood sugar. Since elevated sugar is what wears down the lining and chokes off nitric oxide, getting it into a healthier range is the lever that moves everything. That usually means cutting the steady drip of sugary drinks and refined carbs, and this is the simple one most men skip, taking a 10-minute walk after meals. Walking after you eat helps your muscles soak up sugar before it can sit in the bloodstream doing damage. 10 minutes. After dinner, that's it. Second, move those calves on purpose. Your calf muscles are literally a second pump for your circulation. Every time they contract, they push blood back up toward the heart. So walking, simple heel raises while you brush your teeth, not sitting still for hours. All of that keeps flow alive in the very place we've been talking about. Third, feed the nitric oxide system. Leafy greens and beets contain natural compounds your body can turn into nitric oxide, which is the exact molecule that opens your vessels. More of those on your plate is quietly working on the same problem. And on that note, there's a natural blood flow support I personally like for this, built around that nitric oxide pathway. I left it in the description if you ever want to look into it. No pressure at all, it's just there. Fourth, sleep and stress, because both of them affect the same vessel lining. And don't smoke, nothing strangles small vessel flow faster. Now, the part I promised you, the thing most men get wrong. They treat the calf, or the cold feet, or the firmness below the belt as separate little problems. A leg thing, a foot thing, a bedroom thing. They're not separate, they are one circulatory system showing the same underlying issue in several places at once. So if you only fix the surface, you miss it. But when you treat the root, the health of your blood vessels and your nitric oxide, you're not chasing one symptom. You're improving the whole network at the same time. The calves, the stamina, the morning strength, the firmness, they tend to move together because they were always connected. That's the loop I opened at the start, now closed. The look of your calves was never really about your calves. One honest reminder, especially if you take medication for blood pressure, blood sugar, or your heart. Nothing here is a reason to change or stop anything on your own. Do not stop a medication on your own. Bring these ideas to your doctor and let them guide you. This works best alongside your care, not instead of it. And like I mentioned, if you want to check out the natural support I use for blood flow, it's down in the description. Only if you're curious. So go take that walk after dinner tonight. Do the calf test again next week and compare. Your body has been talking to you this whole time. Now you actually know how to listen. Take care of that flow, my friend. Everything good downstream depends on it. This has been general information, not medical advice. I'll see you in the next one.